Can the Lakers win the NBA title this season after acquiring Luka Doncic? I'm going to go through it. I'm going to look at it, break it down if they do have a shot to run through the West, get to the finals, and eventually hoist the NBA championship trophy at the end of the year. And I do believe that they will need to make some sort of other move before the trade deadline if they want to win this year. They need a center. If you look at the team, they need a big man. The only big guy that they really have that's going to play competitive minutes at this point is going to be Jackson Hayes. And Jackson Hayes is a decent piece. I think that he gets dogged on a little too much. I think he's actually a pretty solid player for the Lakers, but he is not good enough to start and be the only guy in there. They need a bit more of an established guy like Miles Turner would be incredible if they were able to get him. Walker Kessler is somebody for the Jazz that they've been looking at getting. But I think that even if they're not able to make the trade, if they are able to find a reliable big guy, maybe two of them in free agency, because if you look at it, or restricted free agents, because if you look at it, there are some big men that are floating around that aren't with a team right now that they might be able to call up. They really just need size down there. I saw another debate with this Lakers team that a lot of people are worried about the defense. They're worried about how they don't think they're going to be playing a lot of defense on this team. If you look at it, I think that that's not as glaring of an issue as you think, because Jared Vanderbilt, people forget, I think this is one of the better wing defenders in the NBA, Jared Vanderbilt. And if you disagree with that, you just simply have not seen him in action when they've played. He's an incredible wing defender. So that's going to cover a lot. LeBron has shown stretches where he can be a somewhat capable defender. And I think you have other people on that roster that, if needed to, they would step up. And you also have to factor how many points this Lakers team is going to be capable of scoring. Luka Doncic, I just got done watching his highlights from last year and the beginning of this year again. This is the best scorer in the NBA that you've brought to this team. So a big issue with this Lakers team for years was they couldn't find enough scoring. Well, here you have it. I mean, this is a guy that can go for 40 on any given night, and it's not even that crazy. Incredible scorer, can shoot the ball from anywhere. He has a very similar game to LeBron James. Where they differ, obviously, is LeBron has a lot more athleticism, but Luka is a far better shooter. So it kind of compromises each other, and now you have both of them on the same team. And I'm just looking at the possibilities of this. They've built a lot of wing three-point shooters around this. You have Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a great. He had played with Luka before. This is going to be a great addition. If Maxi Kleber gets healthy, this is another guy that can pop those threes. Austin Reeves, if you keep him, really solid perimeter shooter at moments. You have a lot of pieces that are going to gel together. It defensively and big man factor is the only question with this team. And I think that if you can just find a one defensive big guy that can hold things down for stretches in the game, they don't need they only need somebody that's like a quarter to half of what Anthony Davis was. And they don't need the guy that they bring in doesn't even need to score. That's another common misconception. I think a lot of people are out there saying that, oh, they got to find somebody to replace AD. They need to find somebody to replace what AD was able to do from a rim protecting perspective. He could have no offensive game whatsoever. So that opens things up a little bit more for the Lakers when they're looking at making this search, because Luka is going to shoulder the load of the points being scored. And I think it's going to be incredible. If you look at it with with the type of player LeBron is and the influence that he's had on some of the other players in the NBA, the impact that he's going to have on Luka Doncic's career in the future, even if LeBron only plays there for the rest of the season and is gone after this, the impact that he's going to have on the rest of Luka's career it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable what that's going to do. But going back to if this team can win the title this year, if they get that one rim protector, sure. Like, name a better duo right now in the NBA than LeBron James and Luka Doncic. I there's maybe one or two others that would come close to that conversation. People are really having amnesia to how good this guy in Luka Doncic is as a player. He did something that really no other player has shown to do other than LeBron James himself, getting that Mavericks team to the finals when there really wasn't that you can. Kyrie played good, but if you look at it, Kyrie has only really played well and been a winning player with two players in his entire career, LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Why is this the case? This is the case because they are very similar players and they elevate others. This is why he played good there. I don't know where Dallas is going to be at this point with that move, but I do predict that the Lakers finish better than the Dallas Mavericks this year. I really strongly believe that. And the more that I've looked into this story, I remember in the previous video that I made, I was asking a lot of the why. Why was Luka dealt? And I think it really just, after watching the press conference today and after just really looking at it and trying to make sense of it, I think they just didn't like him. I think they just didn't like him in the room, and they're selfish enough to think that they're smarter than everybody else in the room, and they said, we don't need him, we'll trade him. We'll build something else because we think we're that intelligent. Well, we're going to see how that pays off. But I think that if you get a rim protector, if you're the Lakers, you have an opportunity to win a title. But it's going to be really interesting and fascinating to see. I can't wait for that game. I believe it's late February. It's going to be the Lakers versus the Mavericks. That's going to be a really good game, and hopefully everybody's playing.